Hello, hello. How are we all doing? Great to see you. Good day, good day, good day to everyone. Well, what a turn of events we've had today. What a turn of events we've had today. Would you believe it? Got Razvan. How we doing, mate? Got Dip to the Moon. Hello. Hello to you, mate. How are things? Nothing like a birthday pump. Oh, it's your birthday. Well, big happy birthday to you, Dip to the Moon. Big happy birthday. How old are you today? How old are you? Hopefully you've had a nice day, mate. Hopefully you've had a nice day. Do make sure you drop a like on the stream when you jump in. And if you happen to be new, do subscribe. You're 45. Okay. Nice, nice middle number, isn't it? Well, hopefully you've had a nice weekend, mate. Yeah, hopefully you've had a good birthday. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, we'll just wait for people to filter in. But what a last few hours we've had. We've obviously had Trump come out with, the announcement they're going to be doing a crypto reserve, Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Sol, ADA, and I'm guessing there's probably a few more in there that we don't know about. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Bitcoin, massively receptive of it, getting back within the range at the moment as well. Got ETH 11% up. When was the last time we saw that? I haven't saw that in a good long time, have we? ETH 11% up. XRP 27%. What a move on XRP that was. What a move on XRP. And then Solana up 17%. I told you all, don't listen to the Solana unlock narrative. Told everyone last week. Everyone fearful about the Solana unlocks. I said price will do its thing, don't matter. The price will be higher when the unlocks happen. And yeah, got ADA the best performer by far in it, and the fact it's come down a lot as well. It's down 11% from where it pumped up to. So 73%, incredible. Crazy how strong ADA is compared to the rest. I mean, ADA's had a 53% pump. Solana and XRP have obviously had big, massive ones themselves, but nothing like ADA. Incredible. Good evening, no. Hello, Harry. How we doing? Great to see everyone. Do drop a like on the stream. I appreciate you joining, and let me know what you've been up to this weekend. What have you been doing? What's your prediction for Monday USA market opening? Mega bullish, mild bullish, or stag? So I think, what we need, the imperative thing we need is obviously for Bitcoin to close the daily and the weekly back inside this range. So if we have a look at the weekly, I mean, that is an incredibly bullish candle on Bitcoin. Look at that. I mean, you go back and have a look. I don't think we've ever saw a candle with that much. I mean, this one comes obviously to mind when you look at the charts. But going back and looking at the charts, I don't think we've ever saw, not in recent history anyway. This was a big wick. This was definitely a big wick. I missed that when I was looking back. That was when we obviously got the bottom of this move. But I don't think we've ever saw a wick like this on the weekly, not for going back the past 6, 7, 8 years anyway. That is absolutely wild. And the important thing is it's closing back inside the range. So, the weekly is closing back inside the range. The daily is closing back inside the range now. So that's what we need. Yeah. With that, what do I expect? I expect probably this. So this is obviously still going to be resistance. So, hello, Math. How we doing, mate? Thank you very much for joining. It's Bullish Sunday. It certainly is. Just being fit in bathroom, shower panels, trying to get this. Yes, no. CME gap at 85. If only Stonksy would have stayed on that long. I know. Yeah, I wouldn't really bother about the CME gap now. The CME gap will, if we stay, as long as we stay bullish, the CME gap will be left, like we left the one lower down for a while. But yeah, it springs to mind kind of this sort of scenario. Not exactly the same by any means, because the structure is obviously different. But in terms of, it gave people one chance to buy, and then is that it? Similar to this, it gave people one chance to buy the capitulation, and then that was it. So yeah, I think if you're asking me what I think we get, obviously as long as we close the daily and weekly back inside the range, then we know we obviously don't want to lose the range again. I think maybe tomorrow, potentially maybe we carry on and push up to here. Then I would expect something like this. But then on the 7th, we've got that conference in the White House, which then may lead us to break above local resistance and then maybe go and have a go at 106. Is what I'm potentially looking at. But that's if we need to close the weekly and the daily back inside the range and not lose it. So this is now obviously back to being imperative that we do the same what we've done in the past. We hold. We hold. It was only on obviously this occasion that we broke through. We don't want to break through again. We need to hold. And for as long as we hold, I think, yeah, we'll come up. We'll probably see something. Yeah, but I think once we get above 99, then it'll be a crack at this area for a daily close. And if we close above 106 for a daily close, then I think we're heading towards 120. But it's imperative that price takes advantage of this, because that was the catalyst that everyone has been waiting for, isn't it? We don't want it to be an underside rejection. So what we don't want it to be is just a case of this pretty much just being like an exit point where price will then fall back to the downside and then roll over, because then we are in trouble. Because then, I mean, what is the catalyst after that? And really, it shouldn't do that if everything lines up how it should. Obviously, the next question is when will the US start buying? How much of each asset? How often? Those will be the next questions asked now. Is that will be what the market turns its attention to. Is, okay, so he's in, let's go and have a look exactly what he said. That's the wrong. Did he post it? Or did he post it on POTUS one? Which one did he post it on? Or did he only post it on Truth Social? Anyway, I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah, the next questions are going to be, when are they going to start buying, and by how much and how often? They're going to be the next imperative questions. Stella finally caught alive. By the way, we are buying now. I was telling everyone last week. I said, I remember it, because this was the day we dumped down. When we dumped down on Wednesday, I was saying to everyone, and anyone that was in the lives, there's obviously not many of us in at the moment. There's only 17 of us. But if anyone was in, I said, this time next week we'll be higher than we are today. I think that was on Wednesday. I said we'll be higher than we are this time next week. So yeah, at the moment now this looks like a shakeout, fake out. And does anyone remember when I drawn the manipulation? So consolidation, manipulation, expansion. But yeah, interesting. I mean, if we look at ETH, where's ETH? Well, ETH has got back inside its range. Interestingly, it actually held. I thought it dropped below that. So it actually held the diagonal on the daily, which is good because it retested obviously its high time frame daily diagonal trend line, which it held, and it obviously tested 2,100. So for everyone that was been in the streams, was obviously talking about these two levels, the diagonal and then 2,100, and we got tick. So that was good for looking at ETH, and then we look like we've reclaimed the range as well. So that's also good. So what are we expecting on ETH next? Well, whatever happens, you know, whether it comes back down and then goes back or whatever, really what we want is a reaction from a test of resistance, and then we want to break above here and then head towards 3,050-ish. Obviously we could tail off from here again, but that's where the play is now, is we want to see ETH, if it comes back down, bid. We want to see it bid at the lows again. But that was a great test of the diagonal, wasn't it? XRP. Does anyone remember this little number I've had drew for ages? It's not dead yet, is it? The idea is not dead yet. For a 3 peak. So I still think, yeah, it's still looking good. Yeah, I think, I mean, we might not even get a 3 peak pattern. It might carry on, but who knows? Sol, again, real nice reaction, like we just mentioned. And we are back above 160, obviously, now. So that puts us back within this range. So I do favour a test of 190 next, maybe. Evening, Dave. Yes, Wizzo. How we doing? Good evening, legends. Yes, Gold Sniper. I just saw on his Twitter a list of a few coins. Did you talk about those? Yeah, they're the ones that we're looking at the moment. Sol, ADA, XRP, ETH, Bitcoin. ADA obviously has got the oh, there we go. So that was drew from last week. There we go. Yeah, I wish I could say I took this, but I didn't. So, but that was drew perfectly for what we're seeing on ADA. Now, where we've come into on ADA is obviously this zone again, and that's where we've rejected from again so far. If we just map that out, yeah. So this zone is really key for ADA, and as we come up, yeah, we've rejected, but 55% up for the day. Can't complain, can you? And that's the power of, you know, just one bullish day just wipes out. Same for selling, you know, when selling has it as well. But when you get real volume and strength, you know, one day is wiped out nearly a month and a half selling. Obviously, Dogecoin has had a nice reaction as well. We need to reclaim this level. So yeah, reclaim 24 cents on Doge. But yeah, really nice day on Bitcoin. This is what I'm expecting as long as we hold the range. If we lose the range again, and obviously this is granted that we closed the daily and the weekly, so we've got 4.5 hours left. That is the probably craziest weekly candle I've seen on Bitcoin. That is an extremely bullish weekly candle. The absorption on that selling pressure and that long lower tail is fantastic. Your opinion on ADA, TA, mate? Yeah, that's a nice trade. Yeah, I've just had the other one up, haven't I? So it needs to break above cleanly, like the 113 ish. I think, in my opinion, needs to like have a clean break above like 113. As you can see here, this is where it stumbled here. And then we come up, tested it again continuously for several days, sold off again, got above it slightly, but then again sold off and then rejected again. So this kind of zone, you know, you might draw it a little bit thicker, you might draw it a little bit thinner, whatever, but a close above 113-ish, 114, and then we're probably going to come up and test this kind of region here, 124. I think the reserve gets announced on 7th. So there is a conference on the 7th, yeah. There's a White House conference on the 7th. That was announced last week. And obviously at the time, we didn't know what it was going to be, did we? I think it was announced last week, or was it a couple? Yeah, I'm sure it was. Not last week, sorry. We're still in this week, aren't we? I think it was it Friday, or I don't think it was yesterday. It might have been yesterday. I can't remember. But did anyone see that that whale that was like max long in ETH and Bitcoin going into this? There was. Let me pull it. Let me try and find it. I think it was on this guy. He's good. I'll follow him. Let me see if he's on here. No. I can't remember whose thingo it was. I seen it on. But there was a whale that was like max bidding Bitcoin and ETH a couple hours ago. Hi Dave, why Stonksy is not green on today's candle on ADA? I don't know actually, to be honest. It's a good question. I don't know. It's being traced to a wallet linked to stolen funds. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because you would imagine, for the amount of money that they had on the trade and the leverage, seems very, very suspicious, doesn't it? Because it was 50x leverage. They had like 112 million on Bitcoin, and like, was it like 80 million or something on the ETH long? It was something crazy, wasn't it? And that was at 50x. Like, the amount of profit that they'll be in now is insane. Absolutely insane. They'll have literally printed hundreds of millions of dollars. What would they have printed? Does anyone know the maths on that? I'd love to get the position open. Does anyone know who tweeted it out? Oh, this guy's really good on Twitter. This is what I've just been talking about. Yeah. Let them buy higher. But does anyone know who tweeted it out? I wanna get it up. Like 6 million margin. Yeah, so he had 6 million in margin. 6 million margin. No, it will have been more than that, won't it? It will have been more than that. This is Dave. Yeah, but he had 50x on both, and I think if it was 200 million, he had 50x on both. I don't know. It would have made a lot of money anyway. It would have made a lot of money. I can't think of what he would have made off the top of my head, but he would have made a lot, wouldn't he? But yeah, I told you all last week to be bullish. Now, what's interesting is obviously we've got a CME gap opening, but obviously we closed over 50% of that one on Friday on this drop down. I think a lot of people are going to get baited into this now. So I think what's going to happen is people are going to be obsessed with the fact there's going to be a CME gap like here. We could close a decent chunk of it, couldn't we? To be fair, we could close comfortably down to about 90k from wherever it opens, because that's where it's going to be. We could even wick down. We could have a little bit of a wick down and still close the daily above and take out comfortably like near 50% of it. But I think that's what people are going to be obsessing over now. But if you zoom out, you get one chance to buy, don't you? Oops. You get one chance to buy, it seems, this cycle. You get one capitulation wick. For instance, here, post ETFs launched, you get one chance to buy, and then everyone's chasing. Capitulation, you get one chance to buy. To be fair, it did have a throwback. It did have a throwback there, didn't it? Did give people a still good opportunity at 52. But in terms of capitulation, yeah, you got one chance to buy. To be fair, you got two. You can't really ignore that, can you? You did get two chances as well. That did come down into a decent spot. Now, the thing that you want to be careful of here is if we do drop out of the range, there's no real catalyst left. There's nothing like sort of that could do this again. Now that this has been announced. Max Brown tweeted it. Oh, right, okay. Bro, why didn't Litecoin go up with everything else? Because Litecoin's sort of just trading on its own. So Litecoin has held up well. So if you look at Litecoin compared to everything else, Litecoin is hardly down from December. So if you look here, it's been hardly down since December. So this was its December high, and it's barely down. It's held up well. Where if you go and have a look at something like Sol, there's it. Well, obviously that was driven by Trump launching on there. But if you look at Sol's November/December high, even after this pump, it's still down 35%. If you look at ETH, December high, 4K, down trading at 2,500 even after this pump. So Litecoin's not really had any retracement hardly in terms of where it was in December and now. It's just pretty much just trading on its own. Doesn't mean that it still won't go up. It just means it's doing its own thing. It's not really following the market. So you just got to wait for it to do its own thing again. Maybe a quick but vicious death wick down to the CME gap if it fills it all. As it closed on old news. Yeah, I don't think we fill that CME gap. I think that is bait now. So I think this CME gap is going to be bait, and people are going to be, because you literally had, right, so this is just simple psychology for you, right? Simple psychology. We're trading in this range. What do people want to buy? Oh, well, if we get lucky enough to get a dip down to mid 80s, I'll buy. If we get a wick down to mid 80s, I'll buy. So that would have been a lot of people's plan. You know, potentially come down here, wipe out this, test this, and then and then go back up. We get down there. What happens? We do get down there, and then people still don't want to buy. We get a capitulation wick. We fill most of the CME gap, and what happens here? Basically, what happens is people just move the targets further down and further down and further down. So suddenly after this bit, they're like, oh, no, I don't want to buy now. I'll buy on the retest of here, which is what I said all along, wasn't it? We don't want that. We don't want to retest that. So people just get greedy with their entries, and instead of just buying when you get a good chance, we retraced in bull markets, you get 25 to 30% retraces. We had a 28.5% retrace. So people get greedy and they don't want to buy. They want to buy on the prime golden opportunity, which I said last week. This would be crazy, really, for the market to give it, because it's such an easy SR test. It's so easy to come in and touch that and bounce. It just seems like too much of a gift to give it. So now what people will be is, they'll have had this chance. They'll have been too consumed by fear. They'll have been too consumed by panic, or the idea that we're going to come in and test 72, 73, or maybe even drop back into the range, maybe even come down 67, 65, whatever. They'll have been then too focused on moving the levels down. Now people will be desperate for this CME gap to fill. People will be desperate for this CME gap to fill to see if they get a chance to enter or not. ETFs are going to go so hard tomorrow. In theory, you would think so, yeah. In theory, you would think so, because a lot of people now are going to be looking at that and thinking, okay, like, there's the ETFs there, but like, this is actually like now being put in a reserve. So we may start to see now money from gold floating in, money from, other sectors floating into Bitcoin that hasn't already come in. But it's just, I think this whole thing was just simple psychology of just people either getting too consumed by panic and fear or capitulating. Imagine if you sold your bags down here. I myself was questioning it when we got down to 84. I remember messaging Justin saying, like, what do you think of it? Like, what do you think? Does it, like, is it looking like it's all over in your eyes? What do you think? Because I was thinking, this doesn't look too good, this at all. And I went to the gym instead. I just went to the gym. I thought, I need to get out the house before I do something stupid and sell anything. And I just went to the gym, reset my mind, and I got back and thought, what? And obviously it was at, the same price as it was like an hour or two before. And I thought, wow, thank God I didn't do anything stupid and sell. Which obviously, yeah. People obsessed about old CME gaps, but I think if they didn't close straight away, they're no longer relevant. There's no driver to fill it. It's just bait, innit? I think, yeah, it's just bait. I think, yeah, they're used as bait now. I'm honest, I can't wait to get rid of my old positions. Just remember that feeling. What you need to do, coding crypto fitness, is remember that feeling when alts actually have the time in the sun. So that's the difficulty, is you say that now, but wait until there is an actual alt season. You need to like really hammer it home into yourself, because no doubt I do think that there will be an alt season, and we will see, a couple of weeks, a month, maybe 2 months of alts really pushing up to the upside hard. And then obviously just remember not to get consumed by euphoria. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at for the next into March. I said all-time highs in March. I said all-time highs in March down here. But yeah, everything, I think, just a little bit of life into the market, isn't it? But the main thing is, it doesn't really matter what everything else is doing. ETH, XRP, Sol, ADA, Litecoin, Link, doesn't matter. The only thing we need to focus on is what is Bitcoin doing, and Bitcoin needs to reclaim this range and not lose it. Forget about all alts for now, because if Bitcoin loses the range, everything is just going to completely get crushed again. So the only thing we need to focus on is what is Bitcoin doing, and is Bitcoin going to hold this range again? We hold the range, and then we get a push back towards the range high. Then we can start looking at alts. I think it's social media, to be honest. You see people putting out crazy price selling, start to question if you are selling too early. You just got to have conviction, haven't you? You've just got to try and have conviction in yourself. Oh, I wish I held that SPX position. Oh, it went back down to 49 cents today. I wish I held that SPX position from the other day. I was in from 47 cents, I think it was. Or I should have just re-entered. I didn't know it went back down to 49. Fat coin. Oof! Look at memes today. Sol's just giving everything life, innit? Sol is just giving everything life again. And look at the structure on meme coins. Look at the structure on meme coins. Oops. You can see the curvature. You can see the curvature on them all. Forming a nice little curve. You can literally, it's the same pattern on them all, isn't it? It's the exact same pattern on them all. Yeah, good day to have bought the dip, isn't it? It's a good day to have bought the dip the past few days. But let me know, what have you guys been buying? Did you buy on the capitulation? Did you not? I think, yeah. I'm just going to carry on bull posting, I think. Just going to carry. You've got to believe, haven't you? You've got to believe. We are going to all-time highs in March, I believe. This is my zone for looking. 120 to 130, give it. Give this zone in March. Alt season throughout April. And then done and dusted until late Q3, Q4. I think. We'll see. Let's have a look at the total charts. Had this line drawn. I don't think that's really in the best place, is it? But let's see what others are doing. Nice little bounce. Held well, didn't it? Others on a key point. Yeah. It's just imperative that the strength follows through. It's just imperative that the strength follows through. But what a time to be alive. Just these tariffs might screw us if the stock market shits the bed. The thing about the tariffs is because he's now done tariffs on Canada, Mexico, the EU. I think, has he done tariffs on China as well, or China done tariffs on them? I think there's been a 10% tariff one way or another with China as well, hasn't there? The market will just become desensitized to it. You see it all the time with stuff like this. The market will become desensitized, and the effect of any tariff talk will just have less and less of an effect. So I wouldn't really be too bothered about tariffs now, to be honest. I'm not bothered about tariffs at all. The initial shock and the uncertainty, but the fact that he's done it now on pretty much everyone that he can, that's, you know, that's relevant or can cause a shockwave, doesn't really matter now. I don't think the market gets used to it and anticipates it, because now it's anticipated that there's going to be more tariffs, isn't it? It's anticipated there's going to be more tariff talk. So it's pretty much, apart from like an initial move to liquidate people and stop people out, it's pretty much priced in that there's going to be tariff talk for the, for the foreseeable. So I don't think really the market will care that much about tariffs from this point onwards. Everything's having a good day though, isn't it? AVAX again. AVAX was another one. Looked at AVAX, didn't we, last week at a key high time frame level, held nicely. Sui's reclaimed. Let's move that up actually. Oh yeah, that fits nicely in there, that line, doesn't it? Sui's reclaimed a key level. Yeah, I'd probably be looking at the 360-ish level on Sui next. Link recaptured the $15 level. Got close, didn't it, to that level of interest we was looking at as well. If it breaks above $19, then we're back within this section then as well. So something to watch out for on Link. What else is up nicely today? Let's see if we've got any real big movers. Got Radium. 22% obviously got smashed, didn't it, last week? OP. I think this was key high time frame as well. While OP's up 11%, OP might be one to look at. Yeah, I think OP might be one to look at actually as a trade for if it breaks above this local resistance that we've got. So obviously this is high time frame, but then obviously along this sort of level, about like the 119 level, that might be one to look at for a play up towards 150. But if we get any dips, I don't know, maybe. ENA again, and as you can see, everything's kind of rounded off. It's not even just meme coins, is it? A lot of altcoins as well, kind of giving that rounding bottom pattern. If anyone interested in Pi, I was looking at Pi, and Pi's like really an interesting level, really. Obviously, looks like maybe we've had some sort of liquidation on Pi. I'm not too bothered in longing it myself, but in terms of where it's at, it looks kind of, maybe worth a punt. I don't know. ZRO, nice candle. But yeah, market is juicy, isn't it? The market is juicy. And it does look like at the moment we're going to close back inside the range. But let me know, is there anything you want me to look at? Do make sure you drop a like and subscribe as well. Tomorrow's stream will be great too. See if Justin is coming on again. I'll ask him, see if he's free. But yeah, tomorrow's stream will be fantastic, looking at obviously what's happened again today, but what sort of reaction prices had overnight into the Asia. Because remember, you got the Asian market, the Asia start bidding everything now. And then now what we can do is, we can start the conversation now of, okay, the first domino has fallen in terms of a country. Obviously minus small ones like El Salvador, but in terms of like a major nation, the first domino was fallen with, the US formally coming out and saying we're actually going to do a crypto reserve. Now it's interesting to see how fast other nations speed up now. Who's next? Because I think Abu Dhabi Is Abu Dhabi a country? Was it Abu Dhabi that bought like $500 million in Bitcoin ETFs? I feel like it was. But I don't even know off the top of my head if Abu Dhabi's an actual nation or not. It was one of the Middle Eastern countries, wasn't it? What Middle Eastern country was it that bought like $500 million of? And I think it was it early last week? A Middle Eastern country bought like $500 million in Bitcoin ETFs, didn't he? And it doesn't really matter, does it? But it's interesting now, like, you know, as the first domino falling in terms of Abu Dhabi is a city. Okay. So Norway sovereign fund bought into MicroStrategy. Oh, interesting. I think it's so like Emirate. Oh, right, okay. Still 4 hours to close, but we'll probably close the weekly candle in red. Any weight to it? Not really, no. The weekly candle looks fantastic. It's one of the most bullish weekly candles I've ever seen in my life. That absorption is incredible. Closing back inside the range. We've put in the longest lower tail on a wick that I've ever seen. The longest lower tail on a candle on Bitcoin that I've ever seen on the weekly. I've never, you know, this one, even on the 5th of August, that one doesn't get close to the size of that. That is an incredible amount of selling absorption. An incredible amount. So even though it's red, doesn't matter. We're back inside the range. We've absorbed a huge amount of selling pressure, put in a real long lower wick. So yeah, the fact that it's red does not matter at all. I mean, if it can close, if it has one last push and closes green, then yeah, it gives it a green candle, but it doesn't really matter as long as we close back inside the range. Doesn't matter, in my opinion, anyway. But yeah, I still thoroughly believe all-time highs in March, and I think this is, you know, you've sort of got to, and sometimes you can only learn it, can't you, through just being in the space, being in the market. But when we was down here last week and I said all-time highs in March, it seemed impossible, and it seemed like it was just never going to happen. It seemed like I was just being a dumb bull, and it was nothing but a pipe dream. But you know, sometimes you've just got to put your balls to the wall and just believe in the plan and what is going to, you know, potentially going to happen. And obviously, I still believe it now. I still think that we'll get all-time highs in March. One more leg up. But we'll see. Not guaranteed. Insane. Can you imagine how many shorts got wrecked on this as well? Shorts must have got absolutely pile drived. And if we look, let's go and have a look at the liquidity. So if we look at the liquidity, we're coming for it, aren't we? We're coming for that 100k liquidity now. Yeah, coming for that 100k liquidity. And then got to come and swipe all this, I think. Just use all that liquidity to real drive it higher. Make people chase the move. Can you check Sui and perhaps hype? I got super lucky. I closed my shorts today and longed a bit. Very good, mate. Very good. I wouldn't call you super lucky. I'd just call you good planning. Good planning. Sui. Yeah, so Sui quite easy. I think in terms of looking at the next target on the daily is this zone right here, which turned into an SR zone. So up towards like 160 to 165-ish. Is what I'd probably be looking at next, I think. There might be an even, maybe even an argument for maybe this bit here, maybe. There's probably an argument for there, about 345. But pretty much, one way or another, we want to clear. Because really, there's not... I think that one might be a bit of a test. But then there's not really that much of a gap between that and then the upper one. But, I think we close above here. And then, yeah, we're getting everyone back towards $4 and above, I think. Hype's interesting because Hype hasn't really moved today that much, has it? But it's still residing at daily demand. I expect it to catch up. I expect Hype to catch up. Yeah, but still at daily demand. So, I mean, maybe we even need to reassess that now. Maybe we need to reassess where we actually draw this. Because obviously this was clear range, low demand. But, maybe we could move it down to there now. Given the formation of that on the 4 hour. But any that are lagging, ones that are lagging today, potentially, have catch up to play over the next few days as long as the market stays bullish. As long as the market stays bullish, ones that are lagging today will potentially play catch up. UAE. Yeah. But yeah, we're in for a fun week, aren't we? That's for sure. With whatever happens. We're in for a fun week. So it's all eyes on the 7th now, isn't it? What date is the 7th? Is it Thursday? Oh no, Friday. Friday the 7th. So yeah, we've got a full week now leading up to this conference. So maybe we get maybe price. Maybe this is the build up into the thing, Maybe this is the build up into the conference towards 99k. Then we get like a sort of sell the news event down back towards the range low. And then price does its normal thing, organic thing for outer range, comes up, flips that, and then back towards the highs. Let me know what are you expecting for March though? What is you all expecting for March? I would love to know. Hi, just purchased Stonksy. Oh, that's great to hear, Austin. That is great to hear. If you haven't been given access yet, I will go and do that after the stream. That's great to hear. Welcome to the Stonksy family. At what range does Bitcoin need to close the daily? I would say, personally, I would like to see it close above 92. I think personally, I think I'd like to see it close above 92. But there's a good argument for saying 91, I think. And then if you look on the weekly, there's a good argument. Yeah, there's a good argument for saying, yeah, think that low there. Yeah, so I would say above 91. Definitely. Or personally, I'd like to see it close above 92. Pretty much where we never closed a daily below before we got the breakdown. So as you can see here, this closed at pretty much just below 92, bang on 92. Obviously, these come down and retested it and always closed above. Same here. I'd like to just see it repeat a similar pattern. It's all right for a wick or something. But there's a good argument for maybe saying 91. Maybe people would even draw this range differently now. You know, you could even maybe draw this range differently. You could maybe draw the range there if you wanted to. There's an argument for maybe using this as part of the range. It all just depends on how you draw it. But yeah, I like to focus on sort of this part here. So people draw ranges differently, draw support and resistance differently. There's definitely a few different ways you could draw it, but yeah, I'd like to see it hold 92 on a daily and weekly from now on. Feels like March should be hyper bullish after the Feb we had. If it isn't, then something weird going on. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, now it just looks like one massive shakeout, doesn't it? And just prime manipulation. Does anyone remember the pattern I drawn on Wednesday? Because I think it was when Save with Crypto was on, weren't it? And I drawn the power 3 pattern, which you get consolidation, manipulation, up or down, and then expansion. Now at the time that didn't look too good, did it? Because we were all the way down here, but it's actually now looking like potentially a power 3 pattern. Because we've had the consolidation, we've had the manipulation to the downside. Now we want to see expansion. So I think I agree, Matt. I think we should most definitely see a bullish March. If not, I think the market's in trouble, because that was the major catalyst, wasn't it, that the market was waiting for since Trump got elected in November. The major catalyst that people were waiting for was the whole reserve. Thank you. I also sent an email for the Discord. Okay, great. Maybe some reaccumulation was needed first. Yeah. Well, it's been the cycle, hasn't it, of consolidation. It's been the cycle of reaccumulation and then expansion. So if we zoom out, the whole time was, this was obviously the base, the first accumulation. Then we had expansion. Then that was when USDC depegged, when Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. But then obviously the expansion carried on. Then we got cool off, reaccumulation, expansion, cool off, reaccumulation, expansion, very long cool off, reaccumulation, expansion, very long cool off, paired with the biggest shakeout that we've had so far, isn't it? Out of all these ranges that we've had. No, to be fair, actually, that one was, that was 21%. Maybe this was actually the biggest, I don't know. No, that was the biggest, 33%. This one's just happened to go a lot quicker, hasn't it? That's why it looks bigger on the chart, because it's gone a lot quicker. It's just completely V-reversaled. But yeah, reaccumulation, fake out, manipulation, whatever you want to call it, potential expansion. And just like that, Sailor is a genius with his friends again. I'm logging in now and descending my... yeah. Yeah, that's it, yeah. Sailor said the other day, he said, sell your kidney if you must, but keep your Bitcoin. Guy's crazy, isn't he? But yeah, that's it. You know, we came into, to be fair, because at the low of this wick, he was only 15% off his entry price, which is absolutely crazy, isn't it? But at the low of this wick, he was only 15% off. Now, one good topic we're going to potentially discuss tomorrow on stream that I'm going to discuss tomorrow is rate of buying and size of buying in this range. He most definitely knew this was coming. He knew it was coming very quickly. Because we're only still like, what are we, like a month and a half into Trump's tenure. So in terms of like a 4-year presidency, it's still very early, isn't it? But at the rate and size he was buying in this range compared to his previous buying history, it makes complete sense now as to that he probably had a good idea that it was going to get announced and formed and put into action very quickly. Which probably explains the size and rate that he's been buying in this range. I just signed up for BLOFIN. Which Bitcoin USD chart on TradingView is the closest to BLOFIN chart? Well, you can use the BLOFIN chart. You can use Bitcoin USDT for BLOFIN. Personally, I use the index chart, which is just Bitcoin USD, and then the one that says index on it. But if you want to use a BLOFIN chart, you can find the BLOFIN chart on there. To be honest, you can get a good price for them in Turkey. Oh, kidneys. I only just clocked on to what you meant then. I was thinking, what? Yeah, I bet, yeah. Good evening. Hello, Sarah Crypto. How we doing, mate? Great to see you. What a nice bullish day we've got today. I hope you've made some money. I was just talking before, mate. Obviously, when we streamed on Wednesday, just complete worlds apart, innit? Just complete worlds apart from what was going on Wednesday compared to today. You know, it was only here when we streamed, when the price was down here, and now we're back inside the range. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Still, while things look bullish and good again, obviously the imperative thing is that Bitcoin doesn't lose the range again. Or we could see another fast unwind like this. But while everything's going great, and I'm extremely bullish, I think all-time highs in March, etc., still the chart doesn't lie. We on any retests we need to hold the range low. But yeah, looks good. Does anyone think, obviously, he's going to put his own coin in there, isn't he? Does anyone think he's going to put Melania in there? Yes. Nice pump today. Yes, it was, really. I made shitloads today. Good, mate. I'm glad to hear it. I really hope you did. I hope you absolutely milked the shit out of it. Saw a news article, a girl went for a boob job in Turkey, felt in pain, came back to UK feeling really unwell. Oh, yeah, I seen that as well. That they'd removed one of her organs or some of her organs. Does anyone think he's actually going to put Melania in this thing? He's obviously going to put his own coin in there, isn't he, in the reserve? You would imagine he's going to put his own coin. Can you imagine if he puts this thing in? He's gone who, isn't he? Does anyone think he's actually going to do it? What does everyone think on that? That's a really interesting question. You would imagine he's obviously going to put his own coin in there. But is he going to put his missus's coin in there? You would imagine he's got to, otherwise what was the whole point in launching it if it just weren't a straight rug pull? I really wish I stayed long on SPX now the other day, or it just at least re-entered. I should have re-entered when it came. I didn't even know it came back down to 48, 49. I should have re-entered. We get a double bottom and I'll be starting an OnlyFans. I see the numbers look different from one to another. Does it affect Stonksy? It does. Yeah, it will affect it slightly. Yeah. You can just use the BLOFIN charts, mate, if you want. Obviously, there's not many indexes anyway. There's not many indexes. There's only an index for Bitcoin and ETH, I think. Maybe there's a Sol one, I'm not sure. But you could just use the BLOFIN charts for the rest, or Binance charts. I go with the index charts on Bitcoin because it's obviously like a combined one of all of them. It just depends what you want to do. You can use, obviously, Binance charts probably typically have the most volume in them out of all of them, but you can also just use the BLOFIN ones. No, he won't. I don't know, you know. No way. Conflict of interest. I know, but I don't think he cares, does he? It would be hilarious. It would be so funny. It would be one of the funniest things ever. Even if he don't put Melania in there, I'd be quite happy because it's a complete piece of shit in it. But if he puts his own coin in there, I would absolutely love it. Because I think the guy is absolutely hilarious. I really hope he puts his own coin in there. It'll be so funny. Yeah, big up to everyone joining the stream on this bullish evening. What a day we've had. What a day. And isn't it funny? Just literally how quick things can change. How quick things can change and how quick the chart can change and how quick people's mood can change compared to we opened the day at 86k pretty much. I'll leave the space if he puts a meme coin in a strategic reserve. Oh, it'll be so funny. To be fair, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because he's got Sol in there. It doesn't matter because look at the bounce that memes have had based on Sol being in there. So it doesn't matter. The fact Sol's in there gives everything that's on Sol anyway a real good push. So it doesn't really matter at all. My mate opened a massive XRP short at $3 and Femex liquidated his whole account under his average entry price. Ouch. Yeah, I mean, well, that's a lesson, isn't it? that's a big lesson, a very expensive lesson as well, by the sounds of it for your mate. Always have a stop loss in place and a point of invalidation. Because it's obviously if he's liquidated his whole account, he didn't have a stop loss in place, did he? So he didn't know where he was going to be wrong. I mean, the thing is, you can't account for something like this, can you? You just don't know when something like this is going to happen. But if you go back, oh wait, at $3. Wait, how could he have liquidated his whole account at $3? The price hasn't even gone past $3. How's that even work? What, today? Because he literally would have caught like the Pico top. So how could he have been liquidated on a short when the price hasn't even gone past $3? Under his average entry. Look at Femex. Under his average, yeah, but if it's under, then how could he have been liquidated? Because he was short. So that would have been good, wouldn't it? Where's Femex? What type of chart is that? Where are the Femex charts? Oh, they're here. That's spot. Did they have they got a perp one on here? Linear perpetual. I'm guessing that's what it's called actually on Femex. Let's see. Yeah, Femex. Yeah, perps. Femex shows $3. He doesn't know what happened. His whole account got wiped out. Did he not? I know it sounds stupid. Did he not? Has he not longed it by accident? But even if he did actually, it's not really come down that much. From $3, it's come down to $2.75. I probably need to have a word with him. Well, I'll tell you what, coding crypto fitness. That's even big enough reason for him to swap over to BLOFIN, isn't it? Ditch Femex. Give him the Stonksy BLOFIN link out of the description or in the chat now, and tell him to get himself over to BLOFIN, because that's bang out of order. He was in 3k profit and he just liquidated him. That's shocking. How can he even do that? Well, he needs to get onto customer support, doesn't he? He needs to get onto customer support and find out what's going on. Sol looks like it's going for it. It is Sol season. I hope Wiz is still in. If Wiz isn't still in the chat, it's gonna be Sol season again. Sol's coming back for its second coming of Christ. Honestly, Sol is coming back for its second round. I can feel it in my bones. ETH is having. Oh, look at ETH finally having some time in the sun, isn't it? I had a dodgy thing with them before. Yeah, mate, you want to tell him to get off there. Give him the Stonksy BLOFIN link. But that's bad. That I've never heard of that before. But he wants to get onto customer support with him, because how can you open a short at the Pico top, be in profit, and then they just liquidate your account for no reason? And that's basically just stealing your money, isn't it? And if he was 3k in profit, I'm guessing his position size was he probably had a decent amount of margin in that. If he was 3k in profit and it only went down, even if that, say, for whatever reason, he looked when it was at the Pico bottom, which was 275. That's not even a 10% drop. Nearly a 10% drop. So on 10x leverage at 3k, that would obviously return you the 3k. He uses quite large leverage. Crazy. Yeah, no good that. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know how to get away with that or what they've done to him, but that is bang out of order. And if I was him, I would be on customer support now, absolutely fuming. But yeah, big thank you for joining everyone tonight. Obviously, great to come on and look at this crazy day that we've had today. Yeah, what a day! What a day it has been. But yeah, big thank you for joining. Do make sure you join the streams this week, because the streams this week should be great. Loads of good discussion points, loads of potential trades and trade setups we can draw. And yeah, as long as Bitcoin holds this range, we're looking good. If Bitcoin falls back out the range, we might be in a bit of trouble. But for now, yeah, we can start potentially looking to the upside. So yeah, hope everyone's had a great weekend. Have a good evening. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe, and make sure you do sign up for Stonksy and BLOFIN. Links are in the description. Is it anything to do with using cross leverage profits to buy the top/bottom? Maybe. Suppose it depends what other. Yeah, if he was using cross, depending on what other positions he had open at the time, I don't know. Maybe. Seems like a bit of a really sticky situation, doesn't it? But everyone enjoy the rest of your day, evening, whatever time it is for you. And yeah, hopefully the markets are back bullish, going to give us a bullish March, and we can all make some good money. In the meantime, peace out. I'll catch you all tomorrow for a big, long, great stream. Have a good evening. Catch you later.